impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep.
Oh, goddamn hacker, that second time tonight that asshole's cut in.
The movement was begun 8 months ago by a small group of scientists who discovered, quite by accident, these signals being sent through
It's giving me a headache.
Yeah, tell me about it. Us took the hackers months to figure out how to do this.
The poor and the underclass are growing. Racial justice and human rights are non-existent. They have created a repressive society, and we are their unwitting accomplices. Their intention to rule rests with the annihilation of consciousness. We have been lulled into a trance. They have made us indifferent to ourselves, to others. We are focused only on our own gain. Please understand, they are safe as long as they are not discovered. That is their primary method of survival. Keep us asleep, keep us selfish, keep us sedated.
They're pulling the water out of the sand like sponges.
Blow it out your ass.
Their tongues to deceive. The venom of snakes is under their lips. Their mouths are full of bitterness and curses. And in their paths, nothing but ruin and misery. And the fear of God is not before their eyes. They have taken the hearts and minds of our leaders. They have recruited the rich and the powerful. And they have blinded us to the truth. Our human spirit is corrupted. Why do we worship greed? Because outside the limit of our sight, feeding off us, perched on top of us from birth to death, are our owners. Our owners. They have us. They control us. They are our masters. Wake up. They're all about you, all around you.
Consumption. It's the new national pastime. Fuck baseball. It's consumption. The only true, lasting American value that's left. Buying things. Buying things. People spending money they don't have on things they don't need. Money they don't have on things they don't need. So they can max out their credit cards and spend the rest of their lives paying 18% interest on something that costs $12.50. And they didn't like it when they got it home anyway. Not too bright, folks. Not too fucking bright. But if you talk to one of them about this, if you isolate one of them, you sit them down rationally, you talk to them about the low IQs and the dumb behavior and the bad decisions, right away they start talking about education. That's the big answer to everything. Education. They say we need more money for education. We need more books, more teachers, more classrooms, more schools. We need more testing for the kids. You say to them, well, you know, we've tried all of that and the kids still can't pass the test. So, don't you worry about that. We're going to lower the passing grades. That's what they do in a lot of these schools now. They lower the passing grades so more kids can pass. More kids pass, the school looks good, everybody's happy, the IQ of the country slips another 2 or 3 points, and pretty soon all you'll need to get into college is a fucking pencil. Got a pencil? Get the fuck in there, it's physics. Then everyone wonders why 17 other countries graduate more scientists than we do. Education! Politicians know that word, they use it on you. Politicians have traditionally hidden behind 3 things: the flag, the Bible, and children. No child left behind. No child left behind. Oh, really? Well, it wasn't long ago you were talking about giving kids a head start. Head start, left behind? Someone's losing fucking ground here. But there's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks. It's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. By the way, it's the same big club they used to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hard-working people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hard-working people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all. At all. At all. Man. You know? And nobody seems to notice, nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on, the fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it.
My father, he was a teacher. One day we were studying history. Faced with the annihilation at the hands of Titans, humanity took refuge behind the walls and realized 100 years of peace. But in this process, we lost all records of what humanity's earlier past might have looked like. That's what all of us were taught. Even back then, this seemed strange to me, and so I asked my father a question. He gave me a fairly evasive answer, and continued with the standard lesson. But when we got home that night, he sat me down and gave me the real answer. He told me the history books he received from the government were full of contradictions and mysteries. He then proceeded to tell me a theory of his. Even as a child, I was astounded. There was a reason he didn't share that theory with the entire class, but I wasn't smart enough to see it. I told the other children what he had told me, and one day the MPs arrived to question me. My father didn't come home that night. They said he died in some kind of freak accident. But I knew that wasn't true. He'd been silenced by the government. 107 years ago, when humanity fled to these walls, the king altered their collective memory to make them easier to rule. That was my father's theory.
Yes, I can see why the first king might do that. He must have believed that such knowledge would lead to civil strife.
Yes. But ever since I was a child, I've asked myself, Why would the government have to kill my father for nothing more than getting close to the truth? Despite the cruelty of it, I'd hoped their motives at least might have been noble. But more recently, I've realized something about these men. What they're fighting to protect is not humanity, but their own gardens, houses, and lands. Which means all they care about is suppressing those who dare to question their authority in any way. I no longer believe that there was any justification for my father's death. He was killed by human greed, and by the sheer stupidity of his own son. I can't tell you why, but I know in my gut that my father's words were true. I've made it my mission in this life to atone to my father by showing the world he was right.
New morning in America. Fresh, vital. The old cynicism is gone. We have faith in our leaders. We're optimistic as to what becomes of it all. It really boils down to our ability to accept. We don't need pessimism. There are no limits.
It figures it would be something like this.
Sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life, that there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room, you can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church.
This is the sign of the horns, a curse sign, the two fingers extended. This way, spread apart for sort of shotgun blast.
Jesus' physical nature, he has the traits of his mother.
Today, Gloria Copeland, my wife, will be concluding her series on the spirit of faith.
Keep silence before
when you enter that holy temple.
There is no doubt about it that preaching is your calling. Let me make you an offer you cannot refuse. I can give you fleets of churches that would rival any church in the world. I can make you the biggest pastor in the whole of Africa. All you need to do is redo your oath. Brother, do you know how many pastors come get their powers from us? A lot.
You've been living in a dream world, Neo. This is the world as it exists today.
Motherfuckers be gay in Hollywood, you never fucking expected. They be having these big ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited than a motherfucker to be at the mansion party. You be looking at all the goddamn rooms, and you fuck around and look in the wrong room and shit. Nick, come here. Come here.
And whatever you do, do not, I repeat, do not go into that spooky island castle.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Password, sir?
Fidelia.
Thank you, sir.
Bill, I know what happened last night.
I'm sorry, Victor. What in the hell are you talking about?
Please, Bill, no games. I was there. At the house. Bill, what the hell did you think you were doing? Who do you think those people were? Those were not just ordinary people there. If I told you their names, I'm not going to tell you their names, but if I did, I don't think you'd sleep so well.
He said if I told you the names of these people that were at that party, you probably wouldn't sleep well at night. These people are not ordinary people at these parties. They're CEOs, presidents, politicians, celebrities, and royal families.
What secret was so important that you and your friends built a group around it?
Oh, think about it, Lex. Skull and Bones, Scroll and Key, the Delphic. The rich have secret societies, the others have poker nights. The rich have secret societies, the others have poker nights. The rich have secret societies, the others have poker nights.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go wild.
I'm sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the web.
Number 322?
Hello, Brother Roger.
Come right in, Brother Squidward.
Because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club.
Well, it was good to catch up, but I better be going. I'm gonna be late for my secret club initiation.
Initiation?
Yeah, apparently you get a really cool ring for joining.
Brother Mordecai, you have made a pact with the Order of the Blondes. Here's a really cool ring to show that you're a member of our really cool club.
By the way, it's the same big club they used to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hard-working people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hard-working people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all, at all, at all. Man. And nobody seems to notice, nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on, the fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day.
I'm trying to save you and your family's life.
You couldn't even save your own!
I'm giving you a choice. Either put on these glasses or start eating that trash can.
Not this year.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Come on. Come on.
I don't want to fight you.
Come on.
I don't want to fight you. Stop it.
No!
Put on the glasses.
Man, I told you, I didn't want to be in. You dirty motherfucker!
Take a look. Put them on. Look! Look at them! They're everywhere!
Maybe they can see Valley 5th and Spring.
Now, hold on. You ain't the first son of a bitch to wake up out of their dream. What's that? Brother, life's a bitch. She's back in heat.
For God's sake, don't touch it.
Dad, what's wrong with the telly?
Good evening, London. Allow me first to apologize for this
emergency channel.
I do, like many of you, appreciate the comforts of the everyday routine, the security of the familiar, the tranquility, the repetition.
Bloody hell.
I enjoy them as much as any bloke. But in the spirit of commemoration, whereby those important events of the past, usually associated with someone's death or the end of some awful bloody struggle, are celebrated with a nice holiday, I thought we could mark this November the 5th, a day that is sadly no longer remembered, by taking some time out of our daily lives to sit down and have a little chat. There are, of course, those who do not want us to speak.
Let me think, just let me think.
I suspect even now, orders are being shouted into telephones, and men with guns will soon be on their way.
Let's chance us up.
Damn it!
Why? Because while the truncheon may be used in lieu of conversation, words will always retain their power. Words offer the means to meaning, and for those who will listen, the enunciation of truth. And the truth is, there is something terribly wrong with this country, isn't there?
You designed it, sir. You wanted it foolproof. You told me every television in London.
Cruelty and injustice. intolerance, depression. And where once you had the freedom to object, to think and speak as you saw fit, you now have censors and systems of surveillance coercing your conformity and soliciting your submission.
We need cameras.
How did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those who are more responsible than others, and they will be held accountable. But again, truth be told, if you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror. I know why you did it. I know you were afraid. Who wouldn't be? War, terror, disease. There were a myriad of problems which conspired to corrupt your reason and rob you of your common sense. Fear got the best of you, and in your panic you turned to the now High Chancellor Adam Sutler. He promised you order, he promised you peace, and all he demanded in return was your silent, obedient consent.
Inspector, you're almost through.
Last night I sought to end that silence. Last night I destroyed the Old Bailey to remind this country of what it has forgotten. More than 400 years ago, a great citizen wished to embed the 5th of November forever in our memory. His hope was to remind the world that fairness, justice, and freedom are more than words. They are perspectives. So if you've seen nothing, if the crimes of this government remain unknown to you, then I would suggest that you allow the 5th of November to pass unmarked. But if you see what I see, if you feel as I feel, and if you would seek as I seek, and I ask you to stand beside me 1 year from tonight, outside the gates of Parliament, and together we shall give them a 5th of November that shall never, ever be forgotten.
That Scarlet's worship is hidden in mystery, or Eastern mysticism, is agreed to by William Goetz in Apocalypse Next. Goetz states that modern Mystery Babylon will not be a church of watered-down Christianity, but rather must be a secret organization which practices what he calls witchcraft. A close look at the Greek of the scripture text above confirms this interpretation of Mystery Babylon. You see, the Greek word for mystery means, quote, to shut the mouth, a secret through the idea of silence imposed by initiation into religious rites, end quote. This definition concurs with the meaning of the Hebrew word for carpenters in Zechariah's vision at the beginning of the chapter, quote, to devise, in a bad sense, hence from the idea of secrecy, to be silent, to let alone, conceal, practice secretly, keep silence, be silent, speak not a word, be still, hold tongue, end quote. The initiation into religious rites in all Babylonian mystery religion includes taking blood oaths of silence. For those who take the oaths, if one is to believe their veracity, a cruel death is administered if silence is not maintained. For illustration, we shall consider the consequences of taking the Masonic oaths in each of the first 3 degrees of Freemasonry. At the end of the initiation, the candidate swears to keep all Masonic secrets, binding myself under no less penalty than that of having my throat cut across, tongue torn out by its roots, breast torn open, heart plucked out, body severed in twain, bowels taken from thence, should I ever knowingly violate this my solemn obligation. After the oath is taken, the worshipful master of the lodge says to the senior deacon, he is bound to us by an obligation, a tie stronger than human hands can impose. Who imposes this inhuman tie but Satan, the master deceiver? James chapter 5 verse 12 warns Christians against taking such secret oaths, because they are deception. But above all things, my brethren, swear not, neither by heaven, neither by the earth, neither by any other oath, but let your yea be yea, and your nay, nay, lest ye fall into condemnation. The Greek word for the type of condemnation of which James speaks means deceit, lies, deception, manipulation, what I have warned you against all this time, and I have identified them without the use of the Bible over and over and over again, and now I nail it down, and it is used in this sense only once in all the New Testament. Deceit is at the heart of Freemasonry, according to the greatest Freemason of all time, Albert Pike. In fact, in Morals and Dogma, Pike writes that in the Blue Degrees, the initiate is intentionally misled. Something more than deception binds the initiate when he takes the blood oaths. Oswald Worth, a well-known 33rd degree French Grand Lodge Mason, confirms in his book, The Ideal Initiate, 1927, that the act of taking the Masonic oath is in fact selling one's soul to the devil. And I quote, "It is a serious matter to ask for initiation, for one has to sign a pact which demands that the man's soul be truly committed in the act. It is not, then, like driving a bargain with the devil, in which the evil one allows himself to be tricked. It is an agreement entered into seriously on both the devil and the initiate's sides, and there is no escape from its clauses. The initiate himself is by that very fact indissolubly bound to his masters. It would all be nothing if you could ask to be initiated free of all obligation without paying with your very soul." End quote. Revelation chapter 18, verse 11 and 13 confirms that Mystery Babylon buyeth the souls of men. This purchase is made by Satan through the initiate's own blood when he takes the Masonic oath. Anyone who is listening, who is bound by their oath in Freemasonry, the Apostle Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 20, that already your souls, quote, are bought with a price, end quote, and that price is the precious blood of Jesus Christ. 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 18 through 19. You have committed a grievous sin when you took the Masonic oath. God, however, is merciful. He will forgive you if you ask Him, and He will renew you to the joy of your salvation if you repent. That is, if you turn away wholeheartedly, body and soul, from Freemasonry. In Isaiah chapter 28, verses 15 through 18, I quote, "We have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us, for we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves." Isaiah also says, and I quote, "Judgment also will I lay to the measuring line, and righteousness to the plummet, and the hall shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the water shall overflow the hiding place. And your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand." End quote. George Bush was a member of what is known as the Brotherhood of Death, also known as the Russell Trust. Hell in the Bible literally means grave or crypt. He took his initiation in the crypt at Yale University. The symbol of the Knights Templars is the skull and bones, which is also the symbol of the Brotherhood of Death. It is also a prominent symbol in Freemasonry, also in the Rosy Cross, the Knights of Pythias, and many others. Many, many others. It is time. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, to mature. You now know the identity of Mystery Babylon.
How many of you have a Freemason in your family? 30 on up know exactly what's happening, and they're part of it. They'll tell you that they don't. They'll tell you that I'm a liar, okay? They can't tell you the truth because what? They've taken 30 different oaths that they will never disclose the secrets of the order. Blood oaths on penalty of death. And you say, hey, what about these oaths on penalty of death? Oh, those don't mean nothing. They're just, ceremony. How many of you believe that grown men put on robes and walk around in secret rituals in temples without windows and take blood oaths and don't mean it? How many of you believe that? And if they'll take those oaths and don't mean it, will they mean the one where they have their hand on the Bible? Of course not. They're lying to you. They are liars. Chronic liars. Ceremonies and oaths give them permission to lie if it protects the secrets of the order and tells them it's okay. Now, how clear does it have to be before somebody wakes up? How many days do we have left? See, I told you yesterday, I'm not nice to people anymore. There's no time to be nice. No time to stroke you and make you feel good. I got to wake you up quick, and I got to get you ready to fight for your freedom, or you're going to make me a slave because you won't fight with me, or you'll make me dead because I'm the only one fighting. I don't like those odds, but whether you're with me or not, I'm going to fight.
The same code of silence that exists in every fraternal lodge in this nation. They take an oath of silence and an oath of loyalty to their fellow brothers. They cannot talk without violating their oaths, and many of these oaths are blood-curdling, where the candidate actually agrees to his own murder should he betray the secret.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go on.
I'm sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the web.
Number 322?
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code?
I wish there were something secret I could manifest.
322, a secret number?
There are all kinds of secrets.
See, you'd all better wake up. You've been taught baloney and bullshit all your life. And you put a little mayonnaise on it, and you eat it, and you go to town, and you think you're full of food. But you're not. You're spiritually desolate. You know nothing. I am a messenger, and you had better heed my message, for you have no time left. The earliest of secret societies were obsessed with the legend of Atlantis. It's always been their goal to get even for the destruction of their golden age. Who destroyed them? The church, the state, and the mob. It's represented in the initiation by the murder of Hiram Abiff. And they have sworn revenge. They will destroy all existing nation-states, all existing religions, save theirs, secular humanism, wherein man will become God, and they will shackle, enslave the mob forever, so that the mob can never harm them again. You get no helpings of baloney on the hour of the time. You get the truth, and it's force-fed, and you walk away full. And if you get down on your knees tonight and say a prayer, you will be spiritually awakened. William Still, in his book, The New World Order, informs us that, according to Masonic sources, the most important mystery of secret societies is an ancient plan passed down for thousands of years by oral tradition for the establishment of a world government, a universal democracy, a new Atlantis. It is called the Great Work. It is called the Plan. It is called the Enterprise.
I've spoken of 1,000 points of light, of all the community organizations that are spread like stars throughout the nation doing good. We will work hand in hand, encouraging, sometimes leading, sometimes being led, rewarding. We will work on this in the White House, in the cabinet agencies. I will go to the people and the programs that are the brighter points of light, and I'll ask every member of my government to become involved. The old ideas are new again because they're not old. They are timeless.
Listen very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. There is an ancient text, Egyptian, called the Ritual. And the rubric to chapter 129 of the Ritual says of the Manas, "And he shall be established as a star face to face with Sephet." Sirius, Sophus, the dog star, and his corruptible body shall be as a god forever. To deify the human is to make a star of him. The man is himself praise. Chapter 102, let me be among the stars that never rest. It is promised in chapter 164 that he shall become a star of heaven. The Osiris Nu pleads in chapter 188, may I enter into the house of his body, which behold hath become one of the starry gods, one of the 1,000 points of light. Thou seizest the hands of the imperishable stars, for behold, thou art one of the gods. There have been many forms of Freemasonry in the past because men of other days did not have Bibles on their altars or conduct their ceremonies in precisely the same manner as Freemasons of today, and it's no reason for repudiating them and claiming that their observance is related to something else, because the Brotherhood has always been the same. It has existed under many different names and many different occupations, and that's why it is difficult for those who are easily deflected from their goal in research away from the path. And they say, well, it ends here, so it could not have stemmed from ancient times. It was started in this lodge in England. Because they can't find anything before that was known as Freemason. The thread that we have followed has not been the name, ladies and gentlemen, nor the occupation of Masonry, but the principles and ideals and beliefs and the hidden secret religion and the scientific bent of this group. And when you learn to conduct your research along those lines, the path stands out like a neon tube on the darkest night, and it is easy to follow. All the way back to the very beginning of human history, the Brotherhood has existed.
I'm trying to save you and your family's life.
You couldn't even save your own!
I'm giving you a choice. Either put on these glasses or start eating that trash can.
Not this year.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Come on. Come on!
I don't want to fight you.
Come on!
I don't want to fight you. Stop it!
No!
You once claimed that you have an ability to face unpleasant facts. Is that what you've demonstrated in 1984 by drawing an accurate portrait of the future?
Something like 1984 could actually happen. This is the direction the world is going in at the present time. In our world, there will be no emotions except fear, rage, triumph, and self-abasement. The sex instinct will be eradicated. We shall abolish the orgasm. There will be no loyalty except loyalty to the party. But always there will be the intoxication of power. Always, at every moment, there will be the thrill of victory, the sensation of trampling on an enemy who is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its... blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.